Hi, it's me, and that's him, and we're the Sci-Fi Scholars.
And we're talking Man of Steel. As always, to stay spoiler free, click here. Yeah, I had to check I had my hands in the plot. Are you gonna? Okay.
Sure. So, Man of Steel. So, obviously, also known as Superman, and that's
Yes.
a given. And so the big part here is starts with a bit of his childhood, and then shows him progressing into. So it's the origin story.
Well, it starts with his dad.
Yeah.
Whole first 20 minutes doesn't even have him in it, except for him as a baby.
Yeah, has him as a baby, and as an idea of the House of El being hope, which
I really like that first 20 minutes, actually.
yeah, and I kind of prefer that they deal with him getting his powers and going through that as a kid, as opposed to some of the other storylines where he's an adult and still trying to figure out what exactly he can do and really unsure of himself.
He still didn't learn to fly until in not halfway through the movie, but a little bit into
But
his adulthood of when we see him. So when he's
that seems to have been suggested that he didn't try,
yes, true, and
as opposed to a lot of stories where, like, even some of the old Superman movies where he kind of jumps and can fly a bit, then loses faith in himself and crash lands and has to figure it out again. This is more that, what else can I do? Because his father mentions the lower gravity.
yes.
So that kind of makes sense to me.
Oh yeah, that makes sense to me, and I like that as well.
But yeah, the scene with him, like in school, freaking out as I guess his body's becoming acclimatized to Earth.
Yeah, him freaking out when his teacher's trying to talk to him about
Yeah. So like I thought that was really well done. It like showcases a bunch of his powers as a young age and being a kid trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Then it flashes back to him being as an adult, still before Superman. So it flashes between those two times, like him as a kid, and then like as an adult, and then as like a young teen, I guess.
Yeah.
And back and forth a little bit, and showing how he interacted with, I guess, the people of Smallville, and foreshadows a bit of the fear that humans will have of him.
Yes. I thought one thing I really like about with the flashbacks is they cast the kids spot on.
Yeah.
They actually look like a young Henry Cavill.
Yeah, they do.
Like, I was really, really convincing, and I really like that. The one thing I really, really enjoyed about this movie, and when I first watched it, I had the same feeling, was I'm a big comic book lover, and DC Comics is my thing. And when I was watching this, I felt like I was watching a comic book, particularly in the fight scenes, particularly the fight scene in Smallville where he was up against the female, and the big gruff guy. I can't remember their names now. The big gruff guy with the army there as well, trying to take him out, all three of them out.
Yeah,
it really felt like I was watching a comic book, because
it
showcased all the powers except for a few, but the main ones that he always uses, and the others used, and the speed was there, and
the speed, the strength, the heat vision.
Yeah, I thought that was really, really well done, and I felt like I was watching a comic book the whole way through, particularly in the action scenes, even at the end.
Yeah, and I like the fact that obviously they claimed his crest, which looks like the S, is the symbol for hope, and his style of leadership is basically saying, like, I'm going to do my thing. If you choose not to trust me, that's fine, but you're not going to find my secrets anyway. I don't care. Like, he's kind of taken the, like the priest said, sometimes you can make the leap of faith first.
Yeah.
He's basically said, like, well, yes, you can keep sending drones, but we'll keep destroying them, so that's kind of pointless.
Yeah.
And I'm going to trust you to represent me, because you've, like, as the general, you're the one who's the authority to talk to Pentagon, and you know me better than anyone else. I also want to address the thing that a lot of people say, that Superman wasn't true to his character and trying to get Zod out of the city, because that's been one of the major things that people have complained about with this movie. But he obviously took Zod into space, and Zod came back into town
and pushed him back into. I mean, in that, like, on the Wayne Enterprises satellite, you see Zod up the top, get to the top, and then go back down and force Superman back down onto the planet. And it's not until just before he hits the Metropolis that Superman gets on top.
Yeah.
And then ends up on top of Zod, which gets him into that position to be able to put him in a headlock.
Yeah, and the whole thing of Zod basically saying, I'm going to destroy Earth and make you watch every single one of these people die.
Yeah.
Like, sure, Superman could have flown off and goes, okay, I'm going to go wait over the Indian Ocean for you to come fight me. And Zod would have been like, all right, I'll kill this person. I'll kill this person.
Well, the thing as well is, halfway through the fight, Zod, like, before it goes up, Zod does disappear on Superman. He kind of almost
flies up in space around the city,
around the city, and then takes him out in a different section. So it's pretty obvious to me, and obviously to you as well, that it wouldn't have mattered what Superman did.
It was literally Superman had to just stop Zod.
And the other thing a lot of people have a problem with is that he kills.
Yes.
I think in the context of the universe that we've been presented, it makes perfect sense. He needs something to force that I will not kill.
I think his father's guidance the whole way through of saying, you like both of his fathers, his earthly father saying you can choose to who you're going to be and whatever you choose will change the world, and basically push him towards saving people. And then on the the spaceship, his other father, like his Kryptonian father, tells him you can save her as she's fallen back towards Earth, and you can save them all. So his guiding principle is saving people, and it is to the point of, well, if there's a threat, I have to stop the threat, and that's the only way I can stop this threat is ending the threat. Well, that's too bad. And then he freaks out because he knows he's killed someone. He's like mental anguish to the max because he's actually killed someone, and he's not happy about it. So I think they've set this up really well for a DC cinematic universe.
Yeah, and I like that because it's quite different to the Marvel one.
Yes.
That's what I like about it as well. I mean, I really enjoy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's a good universe. They've done brilliantly. What I like about DC so far of what we've seen, which is not much.
Yeah.
They don't seem to be just going, hey, this is the way Marvel did it, let's try and do the same thing.
I think it's going to be great going forward seeing how the two universes develop and if they're going to do the whole thing of stealing from each other, which they did with comic books originally. Yeah. But I kind of hope they stick more to their own kind of gritty style for DC and slightly different style for Marvel.
I totally agree with that. And it's not Marvel or DC. You don't have to be a DC man or a Marvel man. You can be both. You can like both Marvel and DC.
And you can like parts of both universes.
You don't have to like everything about either of them.
Yeah, so I think it's interesting where they're going to go with it.
I'm looking forward to it.
So,
particularly next week.
Yeah, so Batman vs Superman next week.
Indeed it is.
So we'll be back with that.
Pretty excited about that myself.
And before we forget, I just want to give a shout out to Susanna, being the first person to comment on our videos. And to Jamie for the first person to give us a recommendation, which was Solaris, which is an old Russian film. So we'll be doing that soon. We're not entirely exactly sure when.
It'll be coming out. Don't worry.
But we'll get there. Yeah. So next week, Batman vs Superman: The Dawn of Justice.
Indeed. So click his face for last week, which was 10 Cloverfield Lane,
which was amazing,
which we love, and then click mine for next week: Batman vs Superman: Dawn of Justice, which I'm really excited about.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Cool.
I think that's it.
See you next time.